So another way that we can demonstrate that the direction that we face um, in North America to face Mecca is northeast is something titled towers over Mecca. So if we imagine if there was a very, very tall tower, so tall that it can be seen from a very wide distance away from Mecca, then it would be very easy to know where the direction to face is in prayer because we just look into the sky and we'd look over the horizon to find the tip of that tower and we'd know we'd face that. Now, when we're facing it, we're not facing the actual tip of the tower, we're facing the horizon, we're facing what the tower indicates of what's below it, and that would be Mecca. Okay? So if we had a really tall tower that was right over the Kaaba, that would indicate for those away from it where to face in their prayer. Well, we do have something like that. We have the sun. So at particular times, at particular days in the year, at its zenith in Mecca, the sun is directly over the Kaaba. So at that particular time, if people around the world, if they're able to see it, depending on whether they can see in the horizon, if they can see it, if they can spot it, then they know that position along the horizon in their particular region is the way they would face in order to face Mecca in their prayer. Right? So I'm going to kind of repeat that. So I've taken this little push pin that I had in the previous video and I've put it pretty high, put it at 8 million meters from the Earth's surface. So you can see it as I rotate and it will come into the picture, hopefully. So let's do the same thing. Let's just rotate. And let me just get rid of the path here. So we just have and let me get rid of the latitude and longitude. So we just have the Earth and we have the push pin. So let's just rotate towards North America. And we're not trying to do this in an aligned way. Let's just rotate to North America until Mecca comes into the position or the push pin. All right. So this would be like our little tip, the tip of our tower. And right now I have this directly over Mecca. It's over Mecca. It's not exactly over the Kaaba, but it's the same thing. The difference is negligible. All right. So this pushpin indicates where along the horizon we would face in order to face Mecca, right? Because it indicates what is below it. Okay. So obviously, if we look right here, and if I try to kind of align it properly, we can see clearly that we're facing this way in order to face Mecca. And of course, if I put the latitude and longitudinal lines again, we see we're facing northeast, right? The direction that we face in prayer in North America is northeast, right? And this is another way to demonstrate it. And I can kind of put the path again and show that it aligns uh, really well. Now, if I were to show a southeast direction, as some people argue that we face in North America, we can see already it's way off the mark, right? That it's facing in a completely different direction, completely off angle from where we should face in terms of where Mecca is along the horizon. And even if we try to rotate um, to actually see where we're facing in the southeast direction, we see, Mecca is completely off the screen. I'd have to like bring it back. How do I do that? Let me see if I can bring it. I can't even bring it back into the screen. You can kind of see in the edge right there. I'd have to bring it back, right? There's no way that the southeast direction is facing Mecca. It's facing South Africa, right? Or Africa, that is, and it reaches, if you do it properly, it actually reaches the tip of Africa, South Africa. So there doesn't seem to be a way um, for us to face. Sorry, I'm kind of rotating this crazily. There doesn't seem to be a way where we can get the southeast direction beginning in North America to face Mecca. It's clearly in a northeast direction. All right, that seems non-intuitive to some people because they don't realize that southeast is relative to a flat map. Southeast can't continue forever because at some point the curvature of the Earth will start to have an effect. and the direction names will start to change because of that. And as we've shown before, direction names are not absolute. So all these countries here, just to conclude, Italy, France, um, the bottom of Great Britain, northeastern Canada, and North America overall, they all share the same direction, right? And it's this direction that I've shown here. The direction name that represents it is changing. That is, if you had a compass and you wanted to use that compass to orient yourself in the proper direction to face Mecca, in this region, you'd have your compass. Um, you'd orient that compass southeast. In this direction, although there's no landmass here, you'd orient yourself east, right? And you're using the compass simply to point. You're not. It's not necessarily that that path is something that you'd continue to walk along. You're just using the compass to direct yourself. And then finally, here in North America, you'd use your compass to face yourself northeast.